and welcome. This is the grand finale of HDFC Live presents Jeet Ka Insurance Cricket Quiz. The winner today is going to get a cash prize of 3 lakhs and the runner-up is going to take home a cash prize of 1.5 lakhs. Complete the title of this work by Kit Harris with 2 rhyming words. Yes?
Lords to fjords.
Lords to fjords! Well done. That's a great answer by the barest of margins. We will see how Nat and team makes a comeback to this quiz.
We are in the final overs. Excitement is guaranteed and the zeal to win is real. Welcome to HDFC Live presents Jeet Ka Insurance Cricket Quiz. And this quiz is incomplete without our quiz master, Mr. Venkesh Srinivasan. Hello, sir.
Hello.
How are you?
Very well,
Are you
thanks.
excited?
Yes, very excited.
The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you so much. Hello and welcome. This is the grand finale of HDFC Live presents Jeet Ka Insurance Cricket Quiz. What a journey we've had. We began this quiz, which was open to all above the age of 18 across the length and breadth of India and themed on cricket. The ICC T20 World Cup going on right now. And as part of that excitement is HDFC Live presents Jeet Ka Insurance Cricket Quiz. 1,500 teams took part in this quiz from across India in an online prelim. The best 8 teams made it here for 4 amazing Super 8 contests where they faced off against each other. The 4 winners from there made it to 2 very gripping and close semi-final rounds. And after those semi-final rounds, we have our final 2 teams here. Arguably 2 of the best cricket quizzing teams from across the country. They're going to do battle against each other. They're great quizzers. They're great friends. But today, over the next 40-odd questions across 2 innings, they are going to try to outdo each other to win that big prize and be crowned the first ever champion of the first edition of HDFC Live presents Jeet Ka Insurance Cricket Quiz. It's time now to meet our 2 amazing teams. Our first team today is a team from Chennai and Bengaluru. They are great friends, fantastic quizzers, and they call themselves Nat and Team. Please welcome Ramesh Natarajan, Mitra Varun. Good to see you guys again and all the very best.
Thank you.
Please take your positions. They will be the white corner and they will be team number 1 today, Nat and Team. Up against Nat and Team in the red corner today in this grand finale are this team from Bengaluru. They call themselves by the barest of margins. Please welcome Preetham Upadhyay and Rohit Suresh. All the best to you. All the best. Nat and Team in the white corner, by the barest of margins in the red corner. That's going to be the battle today in this grand finale. We need to find out how these seasoned quizzers are doing in this very nervy finale match with everything at stake. Time to go, talk to them, and then get cracking with this grand finale episode of HDFC Live presents Jeet Ka Insurance Cricket Quiz. Team number 1 in today's grand finale are Nat and Team. Mitra and Ramesh, tell us about your semi-finals experience. How was it? Were you fully expecting to come through to the finals?
Not at all. Crossing the semi-final was a bonus. So anything else is we're just going to be happy whatever happens and looking to enjoy our time here.
All right. And, what do you rate as your strength against your opponent team? You know them well as well.
I don't know. Honestly, I think they are a great team. And I think it's just the better team on the day that will probably end up winning. So let's see what happens.
Okay. Very, very nice and gentlemanly. No sledging over there at all. Team 2, however, are cut from a different cloth by the barest of margins. Team 2, not been the barest of margins at all. Been 2 comfortable victories. Looking forward to winning the grand finale as well.
We want to, but let's see how the questions play out.
Okay. And what do you think is going to be your strength?
I think that's pretty much impossible because I know them. They follow pretty much everything there is to follow. So the advantage is just hopefully whatever we've read comes and whatever they've read doesn't. That's all.
Okay. Both teams playing a little bit of the underdog card for themselves and geeing themselves up because this grand finale has some amazing prizes. The winner today is going to get a cash prize of 3 lakhs and the runner-up is going to take home a cash prize of 1.5 lakhs. Those are the amazing prizes they're playing for here today. Let's go straight in and see the rules of today's quiz. Today's quiz has 2 innings. Just like a very important match, we have 2 innings. The 2 innings are separated by 3 rounds in each innings. 40 questions in all, 4 rounds on the buzzer, 2 rounds on the passing, 100 points for a baseline correct answer. You're already familiar with that. We'll tell you individual rules for each round as we go ahead. Here comes round number 1, opening overs. 8 questions in this round. This is a 3 clues round. I'm going to read out 3 clues. The answer may be anything. It need not be a personality. It could be pretty much anything. You can buzz at any point you want. Plus 100, plus 75, plus 50, and equal negatives on all cases. Only 1 buzz for each phase, right? So if Nat and team buzz on the plus 100, that's it. It's done. If you still want to buzz at the same time, we'll give you a plus 75. But you might as well wait for the second clue. Got it? All clear? Teams ready and set? All the best. Question number 1 coming up. First clue. Wisden Cricketer of the Year in 1935. He was never dropped during his Australian career. Right? Teams not entertaining any chances. The very first question of this quiz. Second clue. He had a reputation of playing at his best when Australia was in trouble. None of his famous innings resulted in a victory. We are obviously looking for a player here. That's clear. I'll go to the last clue, which might make it perhaps a tad easier. Bradman famously said about him, "I wish I could bat like that." For neither team taking a shot. Oh, Nat and team have gone for it. Plus 50, minus 50.
Archie Jackson.
Archie Jackson will give you a minus 50 to start the quiz. Nat and team, minus 50 on Archie Jackson. The answer we were looking for was Stan McCabe. I think there are 2 options and we're trading off which to go for. No problems. Now we start. 1 question done. Here is the next one. First clue. He captained his national team in their first ever World Cup in 2015. Teams deciding. No one seems to be going for it. Clue number 2. Kevin Peterson gave him the nickname President. Nat and team.
Mohammad Nabi.
Mohammad Nabi, excellent answer, Nat and team. Plus 75 on Mohammad Nabi, pulling the negative back. Mohammad Nabi of Afghanistan. The third clue would have been he is the world's #1 ranked all-rounder in ODIs. Mohammad Nabi. Well done. Third question, first clue. He later said that the reason he did this unusual action was that the other person was not as slow as he seemed. No one going for it. It inspired a young AB de Villiers to practice this for many days, though AB never managed to do this in a match. Okay, they've gone for it by the barest of margins.
Let's say this is Doug Mariller and the Mariller scoop.
Doug Mariller and the Mariller scoop will get you a minus 75. Minus 75 to by the barest of margins. Your final clue. You can of course go for it again if you like. Yeah, they can. You can go for it on a subsequent question. I said on the same points, you can't go for it. You can go for it again and get a plus 50 and keep your negative down.
Can you do a favor? Repeat the second clue.
Yeah, the second clue was it inspired a young AB de Villiers to practice this for many days, although he never managed it in a match. Right? Final clue coming up. In a 2023 ICC poll, this moment from 1992 was voted the greatest World Cup moment ever. Yes.
This is Jonty Rhodes leaping and taking the wickets of Inzamam ul Haq.
Absolutely right. That's the correct answer. This is the Jonty Rhodes flying run out of Inzamam ul Haq. Well done. So pulling back their negative a little bit again. Nice one there by the barest of margins. Let's move on. We're now at question number 4. A few months earlier, in 2001, he'd successfully used the tactic against Glenn McGrath. Okay, Nat and team.
Douglas Mariller this time.
This time it's the Douglas Mariller scoop. That is correct. Absolutely right. I think you put it in their consciousness by the barest of margins by making that guess. This time they got it on the very first clue. The other 2 clues were he later explained his strategy by saying there's never a fielder behind the keeper. And the most famous victim at the other end was Zahir Khan. This is the Douglas Mariller scoop. Next question. First clue. This reportedly led to Indira Gandhi saying that she would cancel the 1970-71 tour by India. Second clue coming up. The Guyana Prime Minister threatened to bar him from entering the country for this. Third and final clue. West Indians were furious when this person described Prime Minister Ian Smith as a tremendous man to talk to. Nat and team are not going for it by the barest of margins. If you want to try, not trying. Okay, the answer here, very controversially, Gary Sobers played a match in Rhodesia, Zimbabwe, when apartheid was in place. So Gary Sobers playing a match in Rhodesia when apartheid was in place. Tough one there, going past all the teams. 5 questions done, 3 more to go. Clue 1. This stadium was named after the first president of the country's cricket association, who also built it. Nobody going for it? Second clue. It hosted the country's first test match in 1982. Yes, Nat and team?
Premadasa.
Minus 75 on Premadasa. Last clue. It was the site of Bradman's only competitive match in South Asia. Okay, Nat and team?
Oh, P. Saravanamattu Stadium.
P. Saravanamattu Stadium, the P. Sara Oval in Colombo is absolutely correct. Not the Premadasa. You got to the right city, the right country, but I told you it's named after the president. This is the P. Sara Oval. Absolutely right. Plus 50 to you on that. So a minus 75 and a plus 50. 2 questions remaining. Clue number 1. It was held to mark the country's bicentenary and was sponsored by McDonald's. Okay, go for
This
it.
is the first Under-19 World Cup, 1988 Under-19 World Cup.
Preetham bringing his business quizzing and sports quizzing together with a cracker of an answer. The first Under-19 Cricket World Cup is an amazing answer there. We had other clues saying participants included Mike Atherton, Brian Lara, Nayan Mongia and Akib Javed. And it was called the Youth World Cup. This is indeed the Under-19 Cricket World Cup. Last clue, last question of this segment with 3 clues. Ken Barrington, the manager of England, died the same night as this happened.
Sorry?
Ken Barrington, the manager of England, died the same night as this happened. Team 1 have gone for it.
So, this is Robin Jackman getting deported from Guyana. This is the 80-81 England tour to West Indies.
Robin Jackman getting deported to Guyana. Very good guess, but I'm sorry, that's incorrect. That's going to be a minus 100 for you, Nat and team, on that. Second clue. It was delivered from the northern end with the George Challenor stand at his back. That was the one Andy didn't want. Yes, Nat and team, you've gone for it again. What's your answer?
Okay, I'll say the death of.
No, this is the famous over from Michael Holding to Jeffrey Boycott in the 81 tour.
That is the right answer. You just pulled it back in the nick of time. This is the famous Michael Holding to Jeffrey Boycott over in the 1981 Barbados Test. The third clue, of course, was it has been described as the greatest over ever bowled. Wow. Nerves running very high there on the buzzer. The opening overs are done. That was super, super exciting. And I think our scorers are going to have a very tough time with the amount of points that went back and forth on this round. Time to take a look at the scorecard at the end of the opening overs of the finale episode. This is HDFC Live presents Jeet Ka Insurance Cricket Quiz. All right. I'm told that the scores, after all of the excitement that has happened, and so many questions being answered, is Nat and team are on 75 points. By the barest of margins are on 75 points. We have both teams on 75 points after all of the action that ensued in that round. That was a lot of fun. Excellent. Let's go straight in. Round 2, middle overs of the first innings. 10 topics will appear on a grid. This time you get to choose 4 topics each alternatingly, starting with Nat and team. Questions, of course, will be in some way related to the topic we choose. You will get one DRS option to choose one additional, change your topic and choose another one if you like. Plus 100, of course, on a direct and a pass. No negative marking. And you have to answer the DRS question, else that will pass. Let's go to our grid. Second life, delayed start, eponymous, rarity, captain's courageous, timeline, controversy, picture perfect, polite query, fandom. 10 topics. What would you like?
We'll take fandom.
Fandom. And your fandom question is this. This person was a keen cricket fan and even wrote a book about it called More Than a Game. He became the president of Surrey in 2000. When a stint in an earlier job ended in 1997, he mentioned in his resignation speech that he wanted to go to the Oval to catch some cricket. Who is this gentleman?
John Major,
Who was?
President
Prime Minister
of England.
Absolutely right. John Major, the former Premier of the United Kingdom. Absolutely correct. That gets you an excellent 100 points, Nat and team. Over to you by the barest of margin.
Polite query.
Polite query. The reason he asked for this was supposedly to avoid being distracted. He would quickly regret it. 1 hour later, Mark Taylor was yelling at him, saying, I have 2 kids, what are you thinking? Who and what had he done?
So this is Dean Jones asking Curtly Ambrose to remove his wristband.
Changes, yeah, basically.
Like it was white.
White and it was contrasting with it.
Absolutely correct. Well done. These guys know their cricket. This was the very famous incident when Dean Jones asked Curtly Ambrose of West Indies to remove his armbands or change his armband color, and that apparently enraged Ambrose so much that he really started, firing bouncers at these batsmen, which is why Mark Taylor said, I have 2 kids, what do you think you're trying to do? Plus 100 to team 2. Team 1, back to you.
Controversy.
Controversies. Sammy Jones had gone to do a bit of gardening in cricket parlance when the incident took place, infuriating a teammate of Jones. The umpire who allowed it was accused of partial treatment. Who was the player who caused this incident? And after this match, what notable piece of press coverage appeared?
We'll take the DRS.
To take the DRS? Okay, complicated question. They're taking the DRS. If you had to guess, what would you say? Any ideas? Nothing? You guys?
Gravel series.
Not the Gravel series, but something even more famous. So apparently this was W.G. Grace, I think, who ran Sammy Jones out. This infuriated Spofford so much that he went and, bowled that fiery spell, and that led to the obituary of English cricket and therefore the Ashes. All right? Tough question, but good choice on the DRS. What would you like now?
Eponymous.
Eponymous. It's a well-known fact that Darren Sammy has a stadium named after him in St. Lucia. Which other player from the country who also tasted T20 World Cup success and is a part of the current squad has a stand named after him inside the Darren Sammy Stadium?
We are guessing Jonathan Charles.
I'll give it to you. It's Johnson Charles. I'll give it to you. Charles is good enough. Johnson Charles. We'll give it to you on that. Plus 100. Well done. Yes, by the barest of margins.
Go with rarity.
Rarity. Shane Bond and Scott Styris were the only ones to successfully do this for New Zealand. Everyone from Pakistan and the West Indies failed. Who were the players who managed to do it for India? We need more than one name here. Shane Bond and Scott Styris were the only ones to successfully do this for New Zealand. Everyone from Pakistan and West Indies failed.
Robin Uthappa, Harbhajan Singh, Virender Sehwag. They all bowl out and kind of got...
Well worked out! Robin Uthappa, Virender Sehwag, Harbhajan Singh in the famous India-Pakistan match at the 2007 T20 World Cup. They are the ones who successfully managed to hit the stumps during the bowl out. There had been an earlier bowl out, New Zealand versus West Indies. There was another bowl out, New Zealand versus West Indies. And in that, 2 New Zealanders were successful, none of the West Indians were. And as we know, India beat Pakistan in a football-type scorecard of 3-0. Okay, even Steven so far. Yes.
Take Captain Courageous.
Captain Courageous. In terms of absolute numbers, the captain who has won the most number of tests has also lost the most number of tests. Who is this person? Second question, who is the captain that has drawn the most number of tests? These are 2 different people. Yes, Nat and team. Time for an answer.
Say Ricky Ponting for the first one.
First one. Who has drawn the most?
Alan Border for the second.
I'll give you 50 points for saying Alan Border. That is correct. Alan Border has drawn the most number of tests. Passes to team 2 for the first part.
Say Graeme Smith.
Is the right answer. That's another 50 points to team 2. Graeme Smith is the most successful captain in Test cricket in the world, but he's also lost the most Test matches, perhaps an indication of his approach. And Alan Border has drawn the most number of Tests. So 50 points each split among both teams, but you're on direct now by the barest of margin.
Delayed start.
Delayed start. This bowler made his debut for England against the West Indies in 1981 in Barbados. He could have made his debut in the previous Test in Guyana, but could not. what had happened for only the second time in England's test history for the previous test with the player in the eyes of the storm? Yes?
We'll DRS it.
You'll DRS it? Okay, Team 1 are laughing because it's exactly what they said as a wrong answer some time back. This is the Guyana test getting cancelled because of Robin Jackman's ties to South Africa. Tough luck. This is how the dice rolls. It could have been your direct, but it ended up being theirs and they DRS'd it. Okay, so now you have, both teams have lesser options.
Second life.
Second life. Sudhir Nayak had a short India career in the 1970s. 36 years after his retirement, he was associated in a certain capacity with one of the most joyous occasions in Indian cricket. In what capacity?
So he was the team manager for the India team which won the T20 World Cup in 2007.
2007. Very good guess. We'll pass you.
The pitch curator for the 2011 World Cup final.
That is a great answer, Nat and team. Absolutely right. He was the curator of the pitch at the Wankhede Stadium when India won the 2011 World Cup with the famous Dhoni 6. Absolutely correct. Good 100 points to you, Nat and team. Great steal. You have two options, picture perfect or timeline.
We'll take timeline.
We'll take timeline. Okay, timeline is an image question. Take a look at the image. So, India 1952, Pakistan 1955, UAE 1984, Australia 1985, Bangladesh 88, Singapore 96, Canada 96, Sri Lanka 97, England 99, South Africa 2003, Netherlands 2004, USA 2024. What is this list referring to? It's a list that refers to something across formats. Your biggest clue should be India 1952 and USA 2024. Time for an answer, Nat and team.
We'll just say multinational tournament in that respective
Multinational tournament in that respective country. There was no multinational tournament in India in 1952. By the barest of margins?
First time in ICC sanctioned tournament.
ICC sanctioned tournament. Nothing to do with an ICC sanctioned tournament. The answer is rather more interesting, even though trivial. This is the first time or first instance in each country when an India-Pakistan match has happened.
Oh.
An India-Pakistan encounter has happened. It's happened in all of these countries, and this is the first time it's happened in each of these countries. That was a nice question, I must say, that bowled over both the teams. Final pick for the round, and that's with by the barest of margins. I don't think there's too much of an option left. There's only picture perfect. Okay, picture perfect. Here we go. In one of the most famous cricketing photographs, you can see the backs of S. Venkatraghavan and Brian Luckhurst. Behind the stumps, Sunil Gavaskar is jumping, whereas Farooq Engineer is leaning in anticipation. Who's the batter looking on, or who's the fielder performing a sashtang of sorts?
Say this is Eknath Solkar, the diving catch.
The diving catch of Eknath Solkar, and who was the batsman? Great wicketkeeper from the opposition.
No idea.
No idea? Alan Knott was the batsman, but we asked you either or. Eknath Solkar's amazing diving catch. It's a memorable photograph. Eknath Solkar was the man who redefined fielding across the world, especially close-in fielding, with the way he used to field at forward short leg to the Indian spin quartet. And this is a memorable photograph. If you haven't seen it, please do go and take a look at it. Wonderful. We are still in the first innings of this grand finale of HDFC Live presents Jeet Ka Insurance Cricket Quiz. 2 rounds are done. Let's take a look at the leaderboard. All right, rather more high-scoring round. Both the teams were on 75 points apiece at the end of the first round. At the end of the second round, we find that Nat and team are on 425 and by the barest of margins are on 425. All right, this is going down to the wire. Nothing to separate the teams. After 2 rounds, third round is called setting the target. We'll go right into it. There are 5 questions on the buzzer. All of the questions are related to books on cricket. Plus 100, minus 100. And the concept of life insurance is to pay a small price upfront and protect yourself against a big downside, unforeseen, unfortunate event. In your case, that could be getting an answer wrong and getting minus 100. We've brought in that concept into this quiz and we have given you this HDFC life insurance card, which you can play once during this round. If you do that, you pay a small cost of 20 points, you get only plus 80, but you save a big downside, you get only minus 20. Let's get going. First question. Complete the title of this work by Kit Harris with 2 rhyming words. This is about the saga of Icelandic cricket. Complete the title with 2 rhyming words. One of the first blank is a famous location from the world of cricket. The second blank requires you to have a knowledge of geography. Yes?
Lords to fjords.
Lords to fjords! Well done. That's a great answer by the barest of margins. Picked up on my clue. From Lords to the fjords. That's the title of the work. F-J-O-R-D-S, fjords. Okay. Second question. What is the 3-word title of this book about the Ashes rivalry and one famous match in particular? The colorful title is a famous song from the 1950s. It also reflects a sartorial choice that you can see on the image. Famous song from the 1950s, and it's a sartorial choice of sorts that you can see on the image. A fashion choice of sorts. Richie Benaud's blank, blank, blank.
Yeah.
Yes. You're going to play the HDFC life insurance card.
Say blue sweet jacket.
Blue sweet jacket. Good, you played your card. You get -20 on that. Do you want to go for it, team 1? You don't want to go for it. You were desperately close, team 2. I think you forgot the name of the song. It's Blue Suede Shoes. Elvis Presley's Blue Suede Shoes. And you can see Richie Benaud there in the image wearing these blue suede shoes. It's Blue Suede Shoes. Next question. You have to tell us, this is a 1979 book, year not important. You have to just tell us who or what is the subject of this book. Let's see the image. Quilt winders and pod shavers, the history of cricket blank.
Bat manufacturers, bat makers. Like
Bat and ball manufacturers, but good enough. Bat manufacturers is good enough. I'll give you the +100. So the quilt winders are the ball makers, the pod shavers are the bat manufacturers. This is the history of cricket, bat and ball manufacturers. Question number 4 coming up. We're going to show you the cover of a 1982 book. This is a book which is a collection of 40 cricketing cartoons accompanied by biographical notes which give a glimpse of outstanding figures in the public eye over a period of 50 years. Let's see the image. These appeared in a magazine that shares its name with an 1847-48 work of literature by an Englishman. Yes?
Vanity Fair.
Vanity Fair, very good. The cricketers of Vanity Fair is absolutely correct. The William Makepeace Thackeray work Vanity Fair, but these appeared in the magazine Vanity Fair, the cricketers of Vanity Fair. Okay, last question coming up. We'll put up the image, no problem. This work by Scottish cricketer and writer R.C. Robertson Glasgow is titled Blank on Cricket. The blank being his nickname, which comes from his first 2 initials, and the nickname references a famous fictional character. Fill up the blank with 1 word.
Crusoe.
Crusoe on cricket, excellent. R.C. Robertson Glasgow was called Robinson Crusoe or Crusoe. Somebody apparently made a comment when getting out in a ball bowled by him saying, I thought this guy was dead for 2000 years. So since he was called Robinson Crusoe because of R.C. So this is Crusoe on cricket, a fantastic writer, Robertson Glasgow. 100 more points to team number 2 who have really been on fire in this buzzer round in setting the target. This brings us now to the innings break in the grand finale of HDFC Life presents Jeet Insurance Cricket Quiz. Before we go into the innings break, let's take a look at the scoreboard. Nat and team are on 425, but marching ahead are by the barest of margins at the moment on 805 points. But there's a long way to go. There's still half the quiz to go. The second innings will come up shortly, and we will see how Nat and team makes a comeback in this quiz and how close this quiz is going to be as we head towards the grand finale and crowning the first ever champion of HDFC Life presents Jeet Insurance Cricket Quiz.